guys, this is Shelly with Shelly Cooks. You're probably wondering where you are. This isn't the kitchen, which I'm normally found in. This is actually what I call my plant room, my craft room, whatever you want to call it. And it is a hot mess. So we're now into the end of February, and this is usually when I start realizing I need to kind of clean things up a bit to get ready for seed starting and maybe do some resin work and maybe do a couple of other things. So that's the plan today. I'm going to show you just how bad it looks. Maybe I'll take you along while I tidy some things up. Oh, it looks horrible. Yeah, it's really untidy. And then on top of that, I hope to do some winter sowing today. And winter sowing, I usually start in January. I'm a little bit late this year. I'm going to get started here. I'm going to start tidying up. I'm going to set the camera up. You can watch me go through it and try to make a little bit of sense out of this room. This room is very, very tiny. It was supposed to have actually been my husband's indoor shop. And it kind of is, but it really isn't. I just let him still say it is, but it isn't. Once you see around it a little bit, it's very small. Like I said, you will see that there is really nothing in here that is shop other than a few batteries charged and a couple of tools. The rest of it is mine. I like it that way. Actually, need a bigger one. Anyway, enough talk. I have a lot to do today. I'm going to get started. So why don't you just come along with me? Okay, guys, I'm about to give you just a quick little look around this room and you can see what I have to deal with. And then hopefully at the end of this, you'll be able to see how I actually do set it up, and it does work for starting a lot of plants. Usually I start, oh my gosh, I start flowers, I start herbs, I start vegetables, grasses. I start a bunch of stuff in this room based on my frost date, of course, my last frost date. So I'm going to just get you started now with a little tour, okay? And it's a very little tour because the room is very small. But just so you can see what it looks like for us to I think I'm going to be taking you along for some of my planting videos and my seed starting videos. So it'll give you an idea of where it all starts from. Okay, so this is my main plant stand. And you can see the lights I have here. I also have a thermostat that always keeps track of my temperature in here. Everything needs to be wiped down. Just ignore the mess. Yeah, so this is the thermostat I have here. And these are all of my seed starting trays and cells and everything else. And gosh, some of my outdoor pots are stored in here as well. And over here is actually our sump pump, and that's just our hose link for outside. We bring it in the winter because we are a zone 5 here, so it gets really cold in the winter. We get a lot of snow and frost. So this is my favorite light. That you guys are going to realize that the light is going to shift in here a lot because I don't have great light set up. I could turn this on. This is a really powerful light and I love it actually. This is just some of the storage areas that we have. This is where I do most of my work, and these are just some of the seeds that I saved from last year that I had success with. So I just wanted to save a few of them. And with the tomato seeds, what I'll do later is I'll just start them in some damp paper towel just to see if they germinate at all, just a couple of them. They may not work. These are some of the flowers that I have here that later on we'll be doing seed starting. This is an old clock I have here that I'm going to be doing some resin with. Oh my heavens. Again, some of my resin tools. I should be embarrassed to show people this. Some of my soil, just the shop vac here that I'm going to, whoopsie, I'm knocking stuff over. Shop vac that I'm going to need to clean up. And again, just some storage here for my seeds and gloves and everything else. And this here is just an area that I use for pouring some of my resin. And all of this stuff. There's a place for it all. I just don't have it here. In the winter, I get lazy and I just come in here and I dump everything off. And I know that when I start getting the bug again to start starting seeds, I will come in and get things in order, at least a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to change in here this year, but I will. Every year I change something and get something new started. Just some coconut coir. Anyway, so I think it's time for me to get my act together here, folks, and start cleaning some things up. The first thing I'm going to do, before I put these trays all away that have been used the previous year, and my pots, I always make sure that I wash them well and soak them in a little bit of Javex, because I want to make sure that there's that there are no spores or anything in it that are, cause dampening off or anything else. Anyway, enough of me talking, time to get started. Hi guys, so we have finished cleaning up this room a bit, the plant room a bit. It'll get better as time goes, but I've done a lot of the dusting and vacuuming, get some cobwebs out and that sort of thing. So now I'm actually all set to do a little bit of planting. So I have some plants here that have literally been sitting in this plant room for months, and they have been sitting here for months in this box. And they are called Haworthia Zebra plants. And as you can tell clearly, I haven't watered them, I haven't done a thing to them, and they have managed to survive. So I think it's time that I actually was nice to them. I think they have actually been sitting here since fall. Clearly they do well without water, because I kid you not, I have not watered them once. But anyway, I am going to plant them up just a bit. I'm not sure I'm going to be keeping them in these pots here. I have some holes in these. These are pots that I just gather at the consignment stores or, that sort of thing. And they're always used, and I just drill holes in them, and they're perfect for plants. For whatever reason, I seem to do all right growing indoor plants. And then I, unfortunately, tire of them and either give them away or dispose of them in some way. It's usually friends and family I will give them to. What I'm doing here now, I should show you this, is I have some coffee filters. And I just put the coffee filters in on the holes that are in the bottom of these plants here to keep the soil from going through. I don't know if you can see that. So these are the holes, and I just put it in on top of them like that. And then when I put the soil on top, it doesn't go through, and in through the trays. So this is really simple. This is going to be a quick project, but I'm hoping to also get to do some winter sowing today. I have a couple of water jugs here I want to use up. What I'm using here happens to be tropical potting mix, and I'm only using this because it's the only thing I have. I normally use whatever I have on hand. This tends to have a lot of, let me see what's in this, especially for lava rocks, and gives a lot of good drainage in it. So that's what we're using. I'm just going to put a little bit of that in here. I'll break it up in a bit with my hands once I get it in here. I'm kind of hoping I can get all of these plants in these two dishes here. I'll probably gift them to someone or give them away. I find that house plants just aren't my thing anymore. I've kind of gotten tired of them a bit, but I don't like to, which is why I have these solo like this, because I actually have them in a big container with some other plants, and I gave the other ones away and took these out. Okay, let me just make sure I've got enough soil in there before I start. Try just a little tiny bit more. There. I want to make sure these are good and not compacted, because tropicals or plants that are succulents, you definitely cannot compact the soil with them. They like nice airy soil. So let me look at these. Oh my gosh, isn't that a shame? Wow, this is two, I think, is it? Yep, it's two that are together. I'm actually going to mist these a bit. So I have distilled water in this sprayer today, because we're on a well and our water is very hard. So typically I'll use just regular water, but when I first start potting them up, I will use distilled water. I don't want the salts and that sort of thing to harden the roots when I'm potting them up. So let's start with this big one. I think that's all we can get in this. Oh, wow. I should apologize. I'm so sorry, guys. I let you go so long. Let's see if I can get you in here. I need some more soil, but that's all right. We have lots. Put some around here. I just want to make sure that these roots are well settled in. Ooh, this is a little one that came off. Okay, that's fine. I'll plant you separately. And the roots are quite high up. They don't run deep in these plants. They typically don't anyway. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got this settled in enough that the roots are. And as I said, I'm not pressing real hard, because these plants do not like to be compacted, the roots to be really in there tightly. So I'm just going to top this up a bit. I love this tray here for planting. Even with it, as you can see, I still make a mess, but without it, it's terrible. Okay, let me just see. There we are. So that little one managed to stay on the end, which is what I was concerned about. There we are, guys. Welcome to your new home. I hope you like it. Yes, I do talk to my plants often. I'm not sure. I don't know if I should. Yeah, I'll leave it. I think. Should I? Yeah, I'll leave it. It's just a little baby attached. So still need a little bit more soil around here. There we are. And because it's so dry, some of these leaves are just falling off like crazy. And it's not the plant's fault. The plant's done so well for just to survive down here in this room with nothing. The blinds weren't even open actually. So I'll take good care of you now till we find you a home. Okay, just until we find you a nice home. So, okay, that looks all right. We've got them settled in there. That's the main thing. Let's look at these now. These may be a little bit easier to plant. These roots, as I said, are very shallow, so they don't require a lot of digging to get them in there. Okay, I'm just going to put another one in here. I hope you can see this. There's nothing special to get them in. You're just, because these roots are very, very short, and they actually grow across the surface more than down, which is why these can grow quite big, because the roots spread across more than down. Okay, guys. Okay, I think you'll be all right there. Whoops, I see a little bit of a root coming up here that I'm going to try and put under a bit of the soil. There we are. So, 3 in that one. I have 2 little ones left, and I think I know what I will do with them. Okay. Now, I'm going to clean them up a bit. Clean the pots up a bit. Clean the plants up a little bit. These things grow really quickly, for me anyway. I'm not sure what the typical growth habit is, but they do grow really quickly for me. That looks pretty good. I'll clean the outside of those in my sink, in my utility sink. Okay, after I get these leaves all cleaned up. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of vermiculite on the surface as well. Because the roots are so shallow, it tends to sit close to the soil. So they don't, for one thing, that the leaves don't come in direct contact and potentially rot or something like that. Okay. Okay, that looks all right. So, I don't know about you guys, but I am really starting to get excited about seed starting time, about spring, about plants again, about getting some canning done again, that time of year. That's my favorite time of year. So I've started to do some garden planning. Okay, there, that's a bit of a mess, but I am fine with that. Let me grab a little bit of our vermiculite here. Now, here we go. Yeah, maybe I should have waited to water it, but that's fine. I can do it again. I'm actually going to put this under one of the grow lights for a little bit because for one thing I want the water to evaporate on the leaves, but also I want to give it a good start and lots of sunlight. So that's what we'll do with it to start with for a bit. Okay, I'm just going to put it on one of the trays under our lights. The leaves are still falling off, some of them, but I'm not too worried because it really, really will settle in nicely. The soil was a little damp, so because the soil was a little damp, I am not going to water them in yet. I'm just going to let them take up that moisture from the dampness in the soil and let them do it slowly. Now, let's do this baby. I don't know about you guys, but I actually use vermiculite also when I start my seeds. I use it on the top of the soils, and I found that it's been a little bit of a game changer in terms of keeping gnats and that sort of thing away. So if you have never done it and you have a problem with the fungus bugs and that sort of thing with your seeds, I would suggest that you just give it a shot. Okay. I got some seeds one time from Johnny's Seeds in the US, and it was one of the recommendations that they had given me for on the seed packet for planting. And I started doing it for all of my plants, and I really like doing it now. Just a light dusting of vermiculite on them, I think, makes a big difference. Okay. Here we go. I think that'll do all right. Just going to put a little bit of water on their vermiculite to settle it in so that it's no longer like a powder type thing. And we are going to keep a close eye on these for a little bit just to make sure that they're doing well. My idea of a close eye anyway, which is I'll check them every week or so for a couple of weeks and see how they're doing down here. So there we are. Let me find a tray for these and get them under a grow light here.